Bunch of contractors holding a chaos to control sign. So hopefully you guys can see that and you can hear me. So again, let's just, we've got a bunch of people, a lot of people joining today's call. So just confirm that you can see my screen and you guys can hear me. That would be great. All right, all is good. Perfect. Okay, let's do this. All right, guys. So let's get this kicked off. I gotta say, as I look on the list of people on the call, a lot of old friends, familiar faces. Great to have you guys on the call today. And there's a lot of new people, soon to become old friends. If we haven't met, let me just do a little shot of myself. There I am right here. Can you guys see me? This is Andrew Houston from Profit for Contractors. So if we haven't met, this is the Andrew Houston behind the scenes. So hopefully you guys can see me. Welcome this morning. We're going to cover off a lot of awesome material, getting you guys to get better control of your business and of your team. And let me just turn that off. That way I can save some of the bandwidth here. Okay, so first things first. I'd like to find out, where is everybody coming in from? So just tell me, where are you guys calling in from? We got lots of people here in Ottawa, Aurelia, Milton, Ottawa, Grimsby, Kathy, Toronto, Sue in London, Corey in Brantford, North Gower. I get confused with that, Ray. Is it North Gore or North Gower? Great. We got people from Detroit. We got people from Boston. Yeah, it's okay. North Gore. Okay, thanks, Ray. Bob Cajun. Wow, that's great, Ross. Okay, perfect. Okay, Ray, man, I didn't know you were so technical, typing in the chat box here. That's great. Okay, so welcome everybody. One thing about today's call, it's just a reality. Most workshops don't work. Okay, it's the people that come to them that do. Okay, so this is a workshop, guys, and I'm going to be re-emphasizing that as we go through today. It's about, dialing into your business and actually being able to walk away with tools and principles that you guys can apply right away. So just before we get started, I've got a lot of clients on today's call. Welcome, guys. If you can just type into the chat box some of the progress that you've made, some of the wins that you've had, or maybe some of the insights you've had. I'm only going to highlight a few. So if you can just type in, for my clients out there, some of the progress wins that you've had, that would be great. And again, I'm only going to cover off a few. So if you can just type that in, that would be great. Got Max here has landed a Class A client. It's awarded him $400K worth of work. Excellent. Tina and her team are kicking butt with their service department using the Service Call Success system. That's great, Tina. We will touch on that, everybody, before the call ends, so that, clients as well as non-clients know what the Service Call Success system is. We got Wayne establish a clear vision to act on. That's cool. That's great. Good job, Wayne. Getting front office staff on track. Awesome, Corey. Have replaced bookkeeper. Dan the man. I love it. Looking forward for you and I having our chat on that. And one extra one here. We got Mark. Better control of our material on per job. Excellent. Okay, guys. Good stuff. Okay, so let's get into what we're going to cover off today. What we're looking at covering off today is basically how to go from chaos to control. It's really, it's about covering three core areas that we're going to touch into. And Kathy says here, first time using this web program, trying to get better control. Awesome, Kathy. Okay. We're going to cover off, three core areas that we're going to cover off today. I'll get into them later, but really it's about how to stop chasing symptoms, guys, and getting to the core of the problems, okay, once and for all. It's how to stop you guys from babysitting your crews and really to put structure, order, and control into your business. And this is very focused in on how to get not just better value of your time, but also to get your team to be a more functioning team. Okay, you've heard the acronym of TEAM. Together, everybody achieves more. Great acronym, but let's put that into reality. I'm going to say here before we go much further, a big thanks goes out to Desco, Boone Plumbing and Heating, as well as Nedco. Excellent suppliers, and these guys really care about you guys building a better business. Hence why they've been part of sending this out to you guys. So whatever you learn from today, if you've come through them, make sure you reach out and thank them. These guys go way beyond product and price, and hence they really want you guys to succeed, because your success becomes their success in the end. Also, big thanks goes out to a couple of associations like the OEL, ECAO, and their members. So thanks a lot to those guys, because again, if it wasn't for those guys, then a lot of people on this call wouldn't be here today. So a little bit about my style. I'm going to be moving fast. Okay, so please don't ask me to slow down, guys. Take the very best of notes. Get rid of any distractions right now, and pay really close attention to what we're going to be covering off today, because I'm not going to be going over this topic for a long time. It's going to be very interactive, so that we can make this the learning specific to your business. All right. Another little thing about my style: I've never been accused of being G-rated. Okay, I'm not that bad, but look, if there's any kids listening in, you might want to cover their ears. I'm going to tell you the way it is. I'm going to tell you the way that I see it. I'm not going to hold back any punches, because honestly, I don't think this is going to help anybody. Okay. And look, I've been in the trade since 1993, and I'm super passionate about helping contractors, whether it's builders, plumbers, electricians, cabinet makers, whatever, drywallers, anybody that's in the trades. I'm super passionate about helping them. And today it's about helping you guys go from chaos to control, or maybe you're not in chaos. Maybe you just want more control. So here's the first piece of truth. The trade skills that you've got are not enough. Okay. Whether you went to trade school or not, I went to trade school back in the day, got my industrial controls license in 1993. And when I owned my own automation company, I'll tell you, I thought putting in 60, 70, 80 hours was going to cut it. I thought that would get me that more control. It actually created more chaos. Okay. So we need, just like when we go to run a job site and we're using a blueprint, we need a blueprint for your business. Okay. And in a minute, I'm going to show you what that blueprint looks like specific to tradies. And the real purpose of showing you this blueprint is so that you guys can start heading towards being in the top 5% of the top performing contractors out there. Okay. So some problems with being an owner in the trades, all right, is this. You're probably already overwhelmed. Okay. You got too much to do, or you're drowning in a to-do list. Okay. And the list just keeps getting more and more. And, everybody is coming to you, and it's just, for everything. And, your head, feels like it's about to explode. And if you start feeling like you're falling behind, okay, and I don't know if this is you, like in this picture here, but I want to make sure that it doesn't, okay? It certainly happened to me in the past, like I was saying, when I had my own automation company, that I started feeling like I was getting behind, okay? Now, I had a successful business. I was profitable. I was doing well. But it was chaotic, okay? It was just too many hours. And the bad news is that, in the end, some people on this call and some of my clients have been in business not just for 5 or 10 years, 15, 20, 30 plus years. And after all that time, they're sometimes not getting the results that they want. And sometimes they're dismal, okay? So we want to change that. The opportunity, if we get this right, is that we get to the right altitude, okay? That we're able to see things at the level that we need to see things at, so that we're planning things strategically. So instead of just going and taking an action on something, we're going and doing something strategically, so that we're seeing not just one step ahead, or 2 steps ahead, but 2, 3, 4 steps ahead, just like playing a game of chess, right? And the goal of today's training is to give you guys the ability to see things at a glance, okay? To be able to get it out of your head, especially the team issues out of your head, and the clarity so that you can make the right decisions today, okay? And instead of drowning to-dos, we want to make progress like this little guy with a rocket on his back, right? So we get the right set of lenses, so that one pedal or one stroke gives us 2, 3 measures of progress back. And we really want to solve the problems once, okay, and for all, so that we can benefit for a lifetime. It's like these guys. We want to stop focusing on the symptoms, right? Trying to shut off, trying to stop this water from coming out, doing what these guys are doing is trying to cover off the symptom, okay? We've got to take the 10 seconds, if this was the case, and go and turn the tap off, okay? Go turn the water off. Yeah, you're going to have 10 seconds of mess to clean up, but then once we clean it up, it's done forever, okay? So we're focused on problems today, problem solving today, once and forever, okay? So that really, instead of adding more to your list, we can do less and get more. So let me ask you this question, okay? Very important question. Now, what's the hardest part of getting it all done? So if you could type into the chat box, again, guys, remember, participation. The more that you participate here, the more it's going to stick, all right? The more you're going to get out of it, okay? So let's make your time worth it today. So what is the hardest part of getting it all done? Please type into the chat box right now. What is the hardest part with your team? Gayten says finding the time. Yeah, absolutely. Deborah says getting everyone on the same page. Yeah, we're gonna be covering that off today, Deborah. Ross, surprises. Wayne, time management. Stephanie, time. Satisfying all the great customers, when we are busy. Oh my gosh, yeah, for sure, Jordan. Yeah. Find the right employees, dealing with employees. Yeah. Jason, Corey, you do 3 things, then 5 other things come in. Totally. Ray, hardest part is getting others to take responsibility for their part. Well, then, Ray, you are on the right call. Dan, coordinating roles and responsibilities. And Dan, you are on the right call as well. Keith, and we'll keep moving forward, getting everyone on the same page and progress. Okay, awesome, guys. So, Stephanie, getting teams working together. Awesome. Okay, guys, so let's keep moving forward. Okay. So one of the first things, guys, and thank you everyone that's still typing in for your responses. That's awesome. But for the sake of time, I'm just going to be highlighting some of them. I got to say this one. Alex, death by paperwork. Oh, my God, for sure. Okay. So first things we got to do. Okay, so we got to understand where are you now to know what the next level is for you. Here's the fact. Okay, even though everybody on this call, or even though everything that I cover on today's call, the principles are applicable to every type of contracting business today, okay, whether you're the owner or your team member, okay, every single business is slightly different. Different employees, different age, different revenues, different types of work that they do, okay? But one thing for sure is that you need to know where you're at to know what the next level is for you, okay? And some of my clients, you've seen this Contractor's Ladder of Success before. This is really important for us to constantly reflect month on month, quarter on quarter, to make sure that you are moving up the Contractor's Ladder of Success, okay? As an example, Steve, I had a quick little chat with Tex, that we need to get you back on track. So we need to make sure, especially clients on the call, that we're moving up this Contractor's Ladder of Success, and actually for everybody on the call. So first thing is we need to identify, where are you at, okay? So here's what the levels are, okay? The first level, I'm just going to go through them step by step and quite quickly, right? At startup level is basically where the contractor, the owner of a contracting company, is on the tools, okay? They're babysitting the guys every move, every step, okay? They're feeding these guys. In order to get things done, they've got to almost be there everywhere at the same time, okay? And typically on the financial side, you're not clear of profits. You're hoping for profits, but you're not clear on profits. And from a marketing and sales perspective, you're waiting for the phone to ring, right? And to hope that you stay busy. Next level up is survival, okay? And again, as I'm going through this team, everybody on the call, whether you're a team member or an owner, I want you to identify where you're at, okay? If you're a team member, you might be going, well, why? Well, because you want to identify where the business is at so that, ideally you can bring this back to the business owner and say, hey, here's where I think we're at. Here's a bit of clarity of what I got out of today, so that we can know what the next level is and what we got to focus and work on. So the next level up is survival. Okay, we got plenty of work, but our cash flow is like a roller coaster, right? We're chasing, trying to get our money off the street, and that's what I mean, our money, okay? Typically, we've got clients that treat us like we're a bank, okay? And if we got a foreman or a lead hand, which is good, but typically the foreman lead hand are running the jobs out of their head. And from a marketing and sales perspective, we're starting to get referrals because people are starting to know us. But the problem is that we don't know who the good, the bad, and the ugly clients are. Okay. And typically between startup and survival, the business is running us. Okay. We're not running the business. Next is stability. It's a better place to be. Okay. Yeah, it's better than startup and survival. At least it's stability. We got positive cash flow. Profits are okay. We've got money in the bank, but we're still, the business is still too dependent upon us, right? If we go away for a couple of weeks, come back, we got this list of to-dos. And typically there's a lot of issues, okay, between our crews, our team, and our customers, okay? And you're the one that has to put out those fires when you get back. As far as marketing and sales goes, yeah, we've gotten better clarity of defining who our target clients are, and we're able to kick the Class Ds, the time leeches, to the curb, and we're able to prevent them from coming in, and that enables us to focus more on the Class A and Class B clients. From an employee perspective, they're clear on their roles, and they're clear on their goals, and they're moving forward. Next level up is scale. Okay, so remember, guys, identify where you're at here. Okay. Scale is a good place to be, right? We have structure, it's backed by systems, and really typically around 70 to 80% of our business is ran by the team. We spend most of our time on business development, okay? Sharing our vision, setting the compass for the business so the team can follow that direction. Last level is sell. It doesn't mean you're going to sell the business. It means the business is moving towards being ready to sell, or it is ready to sell, okay? We are at a place where the value of the business is growing beyond us, okay? And when we go away, and we come back, we see growth. We don't see chaos, okay? We see control, okay? And if we sell the business, we're going to maximize the value of the business. Why? Because people are not buying us. They're buying a business backed by systems, okay? And if you want to stay in the business, the nice part about this is that you're able to enjoy the benefits of profitability. You're able to have freedom and wealth, as you continue to run the business. So by now you should have identified where you're at in the contractor's ladder of success. Okay. So I want you to type in the chat box, where are you at in the contractor's ladder of success? I want everybody to participate here, whether you're a team member or you're an owner, okay? So we'll just take 10, 15 seconds to put that in. So it should be startup, survival, stability, scale, or sell. All right. Awesome. Okay, so we got, Jordan saying startup, we got Casey in stability, Gaetan between survival and stability. Excellent. Alex is scale. Sue says foreman. Okay. Wayne, stability. Jason, stability. Ray, startup. Okay, great, guys. Survival, Kathy. Marshall, startup. Ross is stability. Corey, survival. Just above survival, Keith says. Bart says stability. Between stability and survival, Stephanie. Okay, excellent. Okay, guys, that's great. Again, this is for you guys. This isn't for me, right? This call's about you. So make sure that you write that down someplace, all right? And here's a little rule. Okay, when we're looking at this contractor's ladder of success, couple of little things to identify. You can't jump from one rung. You can't jump from startup to stability. Okay, you can't. You can't miss rungs, okay? When I was an apprentice, the electricians, gotta love them, right? They used to do this game with us, and they'd try and get us to see how far we could jump up a ladder from one rung, from zero, from the ground up to, the highest point on the ladder. And the reality was it was a great little fun game. I mean, you nailed your knees and all the rest of that stuff as they laughed at you. But, and that's okay game. But in business, you don't want to do that, okay? Because when you fall in business from stability and you try to jump, say, survival level, your fall can bring you all the way down to the bottom, okay? The reality here, guys, is that the foundational blocks build upon the foundational blocks, okay? No different than in the trades, okay? If this is a weak structured startup and we're trying to build on survival and stability, we're only going to be strong as the weakest part. And if that's startup, well, then it's going to take us down at some point, okay? And a lot of people sometimes think that they're playing up at stability when in reality they're actually still at startup. By the way, the revenues in here, guys, I probably should have said this, but the revenues in here do not dictate. It's just a reference guide to show you that as you move up this contractor's ladder of success. As you move up it, basically your revenue should be moving up as well. Okay, so you could be a $6 million business and still at startup. All right. Stephanie is Curtis and Rick. Okay, there you go. I'll have to remember that. All right, I didn't know that we had a name change. Okay, awesome. All right, so sorry about that, Stephanie. I mean Curtis and Rick. Okay, so the other thing is that you guys want to look at here is that there's different definitions of what value is at each one of these different levels. Again, for my clients on the call, if you feel that you're slipping back, you're not moving forward, make sure you set up a laser focus session with me, okay? All right, I'm also calling Rick Stephanie from now on. I love it. Okay, so let's keep rocking and rolling. So where do we start? Okay, great question. Here's where we start. And it's a funny place, right? I say funny place, a lot of people don't think that this is the right place to start, okay? So now that you know where you're at, you now know what the next level for you is in the contractor's ladder of success, okay? That should be a big eye-opener for you guys. But the first place we got to start is that you need to start in retraining your brain, okay? It all starts with your mindset, okay? And the mindset is that you are not the best at everything. You're the best, especially this goes out to the owners. You're the best for the right things, okay? The problem, if you don't get this mindset right, is that everything becomes urgent, just like this picture, okay? We become professional firefighters, okay? And that is not the business that we're in, okay? And the fires just keep coming back and back. The other thing is that we're too close. We're not seeing the big picture. So let's have some fun with this, okay, guys? Like, yeah, this is some serious stuff, okay? Your business is serious, but we got to try and have some fun today, too. So can you tell me, what is this a picture of? What is this in front of you a picture of? Just type it into the chat box. No, it's not a tumor. No, it's not a virus. It's not a beehive. It's not a sponge. No sponges, no pollen, no flour. Okay, so let's cut to it. Oh, nobody's gotten it yet. Pizzelli. What is that? I don't even know what that is. Okay, we got one person that got it. Here we go. And it's not an Italian cookie. It's it's not a fingerprint or dust. Okay, got to keep moving forward. I'd love to stay on this for a lot longer, but we got to focus in on managing our time. It's an orange. Okay, so Max, you got it right. It's an orange. Okay, now this is a great little game to play. But in business, if we are too close to things, okay, if we're not seeing things from the right set of lenses, we're guessing that we're making profits. Okay, we're guessing that we got the right team or that we got a team member that's doing a great job, when in reality, they're not doing a good job, okay? One of my clients just did a study on this. Actually, he didn't just, but it was about a year ago. He did a study, and he thought, his best guys were this crew. And after we did an assessment, we found out that they were the worst. Yeah, they were 30% less efficient than the other crews, and I'll tell you why. And I got nothing against this, but because they were that crew was a bunch of smokers. And there was no structure around when they were supposed to take breaks. So guess what? They were taking a break every time they were going to have a smoke break, okay? We need to know, guys, okay? We're not in this game to gamble. And if you want to go and gamble, that's what the casinos are for, okay? Business, we got to reduce the gambling as much as possible, okay? We need to see the bigger picture. If you don't get your mindset right, you work on the low-value tasks that are way below your pay grade, okay? If you look at yourself as a business owner, okay, and you look at all the hours and all the time that you put in and divide it by what you get paid, a lot of times you can be the least paid person in your company. If we don't get this mindset right, we don't have the right level of capacity, right? We end up saying yes to everything. We end up being like this guy, right? Sticky notes all over the place or in our minds, and it's just overwhelming. So the alternative is that we got to retrain our brains, okay? We got to focus on the important versus the urgent things, okay? We got to be able to build our business like the $6 million man. I'm sort of dating myself to those youngins out there, so that we're better, we're faster, and we're stronger, not by just us, but by the building of what our team does. So that we got a game plan, okay? If we get this right, the mindset right, we focus in on creating things like game plans that move us forward and game plans that support the right level on the contractor's ladder of success. And this guy says it, right? Pretty smart guy here, right? Love the hair, Einstein. Love it. Try not to become a man of success, but rather try to become a man of value, okay? And if we get this right, what the results are is freedom. Okay, my view on your business as a contractor, whatever type of business you're in today, is to get your business to pay for your freedom. I mean, why did you get into business in the first place? You know, for it to be a prison sentence? No, for it to create freedom, for it to give you the lifestyle you wanted. Okay, for you to help people out there. Okay. So we got to get our business to pay for our freedom. That's why I have the name Profit for Contractors, because if we're not profitable, you're not going to have a business, okay? So we've got to maximize that. So let me ask you this question before we go any further. What are you worth per hour? What do you see yourself worth per hour? Type it into the chat box right now. This is going to be important for you to reference back, okay? And anytime I'm asking you these questions, good suggestion to write it down, okay? We're getting $150 an hour. Okay, we're getting 159. We're getting 90. We're getting 200. I feel like I'm at an auction. I'm getting 85, 150, 125, 25, 30, 170. I think I'm hearing my dad on the farm pretending he's an auctioneer. Okay, 90. Long story short, ooh, Paul, nice. That's a good number. Priceless, Deborah, okay, says. Sorry, I think I keep saying Stephanie, but it's Curtis and Rick. So sorry if I say Stephanie, I mean Curtis and Rick. Norman, 30. Okay, so here's the reality, guys. Here is a bit of the reality, okay? We need to identify how do we maximize our value, okay? So let's get into this. Here's a bit of the reality check. The reality check on this is this. There's a finite number of you. That's one. There is a finite number of working hours and days. Some of you guys look at it as 7 days a week, 6 days, 5 days. I'm looking at this that we should be at, 5 days a week, okay? There is a finite number of days in the weeks, right? And, there's a finite number of working hours per day, right? 24, right? You can't make it 25, 26, or 24. Number 3, I just covered off. Number 4, okay? Builds upon the first 3, okay? You can either use your time for high value or low value or both, okay? I like you guys focusing on high value tasks. So the first step that we need to do in today is we need to identify low versus high value tasks, okay? So let's put some theory into reality. I'm going to go through this list. The list on the left-hand side is low value tasks. Now, for those on the call that are doing these tasks, I'm not saying they're not important, okay? I'm saying they're low value in the sense that we could hire somebody between 15 and 30 bucks an hour to do them. Actually, the first 2 are below that, okay? I would say they're worth less than 0. So let's take a look. As I'm going through this list, guys, I want you to write down some of the things that you are currently doing, okay? You can write down as many as possible. That would be great. So dealing with Class D clients, okay? That is less than 15 bucks an hour. Nobody should be dealing with Class D clients, okay? And we got to focus in on getting rid of these clients. And for my team members out there, let's see if we can take a look just to give you guys some insights. This is the Profit for Contractors membership site. Okay, so any clients out there, you want to go into, the search engine. You can go into rating, your clients, how to filter them fast. Let's take a look here. So you can search it by that, dealing with Class A, Class D clients, how to deal with them. Here's the done for you letters. Okay. Okay. Go back to the home page here. The other thing that you can do, guys, and use this as a tool, clients, okay? You can go underneath whichever topic you want and pick whatever ones resonate with you or whichever ones are in your Goal Smasher plan, okay? So let's go back to this, okay? So as I'm going through this, I want everybody to identify, are these some of the things that you're doing low value, okay? It's really important. This is below 15 bucks an hour, dealing with Class D employees, okay? Right, that are robbing you of time, that are not producing results that you want, and that are, pulling your company backwards, okay, down the contractor's ladder of success. $15 to $30 an hour jobs, picking up checks, delivering material, ordering material, doing your books, okay, getting permits, going site to site to see what the heck's going on with the jobs, right? Administrative tasks, opening the mail, answering the phones, organizing the office, clerical tasks, filing things. Guys, you should not be doing these things. Cleaning up the shop, okay? What else are some low-value tasks? What are some other low-value tasks, guys, that we can end up doing? Yeah, inventory. Yeah, tracking maintenance of the trucks. Anything else? Tracking the tools. Oh my gosh, that's huge, right? Ensuring trucks are loaded up with proper material for the day's work. What else we got? Doing health and safety checks. Yeah. Dealing with hiring, putting out ads. Yeah, excellent team. IT support, Wayne says. Excellent. Okay. So right now, what I want you guys to do, okay, right now is that I want you to identify what are the things on the low value side. Okay, we're going to come back to it in a second. Okay, but you should have been able to highlight some of these things that you're currently doing. Now we've got to focus in on the high value side. The high value side is about leveraging systems beyond you. This is huge. Okay. And when looking at leveraging systems beyond you, it's because it keeps giving back to you over and over and over again. Okay, quoting systems, hiring systems, systems to actually track what jobs are actually going, where they're at, which quotes have been put out there, and which ones we need to follow up on. Finding more Class A clients is huge. Okay, and I'm saying these values are between 300 and in the $1,000 range. Okay. And by the way, there's only one person on this call when I asked about the value of the time that was above $1,000. Okay. And for the owners on this call, mark my words, you are worth in the thousands of dollars when it comes to certain types of high value tasks. Building strategic alliances is incredible. I'm going to show you guys a testimonial, one of my clients that's in the thousands. Okay. That you guys will be able to relate to. Strategic planning and setting goals for your team. Guys, this is huge, right? If your team doesn't have a plan right now, you don't even have a plan for where you're going, how in God's name can your team have a plan to know what they should be doing to support the direction of the business? Investing in software is big. Creating dashboards that track where things are at. Delegate the books, right? The financials, but have you focusing on reviewing the numbers. Quarterly assessments of the team to make sure that they're on track, okay? And make sure that the people that deserve to get rewarded are getting rewarded, right? Define profitability holes, right? And opportunities. I'm going to show you an example of that soon. Breaking down the cycles of the business, right? Knowing the seasons of your business, right? Typical trades businesses are like my dad in the sense that my dad's a farmer. There's seasons in the business, right? There's cycles of when you should be doing certain things and not doing certain things. We need to know the cycles of your business so that we know when the best time is to hire and the best time to get rid of the Class D employees. Same thing for the Class D customers. Okay, when is the best time to do your marketing? When's the worst time to do it? Okay, and when is the best time to maximize your profits? And when should you be sensitive to that? Okay, you need to know these cycles. Creating your USP, which stands for your unique selling proposition, right? Beyond price. If all that we focus in on, guys, is price, then that's all the customers are going to deal with us on. Okay, so we got to separate ourselves beyond that. And there's lots of different ways to do that. For my clients, it could be, just take a quick look underneath marketing and sales, guys. It could be, using the secret psychology. It could be how to handle objections, dealing with your client's biggest frustrations, how to beat the competition beyond price. I mean, surveying your clients. Oh my God, that's huge. I mean, let's just take a quick little gander at that. Making sure that you're getting feedback from your clients so that you know what truly separates you from the competition, right? So you got feedback forms that are happening on every single job that gets done, okay? So that you know exactly where you're at. Okay. Mastering the sales process. What else? Guys, type in the chat box. What else? Did I miss anything else that's high value? Yeah, training programs, for sure. Delegating, getting a website created. Yeah, that's big, right? People are on the web all day looking to see whether or not you're a trusted service or not. Engaging with new suppliers, adding new products to our portfolio to differentiate ourselves. Absolutely. Jordan says, hanging at the beach. Nice, man. Taking care of employees. Jordan, that's funny, man. Yeah, for sure. Spending time with key people, staff, or customers. Totally, Deborah. Absolutely. Okay. So step 2, we need to replace the low value with the high value. Okay. Yeah, Norman's saying success plan for sure. Yeah, and a succession plan as well. So let's do that. All right. So the very first step that we got to do today, remember I said this is a workshop. This isn't some sort of seminar, some sort of let's just, learn some stuff today and not apply it. This is a workshop. So I'm just going to have to sip my coffee. All right. Very first step is this. On the low value task, guys, you need to pick one. Okay. You need to stop doing a low value task. Okay. I didn't say stop 10 of them. Stop one. Okay. For my clients out there and everybody on there, guys, it's just doing one step at a time. Okay. That's going to be critical here. Not trying to do 10 steps at a time. One step at a time. Pick the lowest value that takes up the most amount of your time. Okay. And don't try to perfect this. Rough it. Okay. Perfection slows you down. Trust me. Once you pick that one thing, you're either going to delegate it, you're going to systemize it, or you're going to eliminate it, or it's going to be a combination of those three things. Okay. Next is on the high value side. We're either going to identify something that we're currently doing that we need to do more of, that we're going to keep, or we're going to start doing something new. Okay. The easiest place to start is something that you're already doing and to tweak it and do a little bit more of it. Okay. You're going to pick the highest value that takes the least amount of time. Okay. My clients will laugh when they hear me say that. You're going to pick the lowest hanging fruit. Okay. It's like walking up to an apple tree. Pick the apple that's just hanging right at the hand level. Okay. Number two, what we're going to do once we pick the one for the high value is we're going to set a goal. That's right. Set a goal. And typically it should be something within a 90-day window. Okay. Because anything further than that is just too far out and it's too hard to track. Number three, you're going to create a plan of action. Number four, you're going to default your time. Okay. Let's take a look. So we're going to get you guys to do this in just a second, but let's take a look at somebody that was able to take this process and apply it. Emil Pradum Insulation. Okay. Great client of mine. Been working with them for a while. When I first started with Yvon, that's this good looking man over here and his lovely wife, Tammy. When I first started with them, it's about a 30-year-old business. There's Mr. Pradum right there. He was working, 6-7 days a week, 60, 70 plus hours. Okay. And he was struggling with his time management. Okay. And he's struggling with letting go of things. And he's like, yeah, I got to be on the forklift. Yeah, I got to do accounts payable. What we were able to do after we did this exercise is that I was able to get him to realize that those jobs are below his pay grade. Okay. We ended up delegating some of his tasks. Okay. And basically what we did was, is that we got him to focus in on one of the high value things, which was focusing on finding some more Class A clients. So on 40 hours worth of time, actually being very conservative, we tracked his time. He was able to land a $750,000 client. Okay. And let's look at the value of his time, right? Actually, let me see if I can draw this up for you guys so that it brings it into a bit of reality here. One thing to talk it, it's another thing to actually see it calculated out. Okay. So we should be able to pull my little iPad up. Let's use some of my good old technology here. Okay. Let me just see. Got to get my iPad working because we're having some of these gremlins here right now. There we go. Okay, guys, good. I got it working. Love it. Persistence pays off, eh? Sometimes. Let's make this a little bit bigger. I'm going to go quickly through this calculation, okay? I just got to find my little iPad, my little pen. Here we go. So 40 hours worth of effort. He landed a $750,000. Can everybody see my iPad? Okay. 40 hours. From a sales perspective, he was worth $18,750 per hour. Okay. This blew him away. Okay. Blew me away actually when we did this. But that's sales. Let's focus in on profits. Let's just say, this is not exact, but let's just say that his profits on that client was at 20 points. So $18,750. Okay. Divided by 20 points gross profit per hour. So Yvon, in this case, was worth $3,750 per hour in profits. Okay. Huge. That does not include the lifetime value of the client. What is lifetime value? That's only what he was worth from a 1 year perspective. Okay. That doesn't include the lifetime value year on year, which actually increases his value up and up and up. And it doesn't even include the referrals that he got from that client. Okay. By the way, if I spell anything wrong, I'm sorry, guys. It's not my strength. This goes out to you, Deborah. Okay, so right, that's a game changer. Okay, so when we're looking at this here, what does that do for him? That gave him the ability to say very quickly what he should be saying yes to and what he should be saying no to. What else did that do for him? It allowed him to hire somebody full time, actually more than one person, and another person, and another person, freeing up 40, 50, 60 hours. Now, guess what? He's able to focus in on more of those high-value tasks. So it's interesting, Paul. Yes, that it came out to the same as yours. That is wild, man. There you have it, okay? He was able to actually start a second business. So now they have two businesses, one supporting the other, the installation company and the trucking company. And it all started with shifting this mindset of the value of his time. Let's look at it from a profit perspective, okay? Another little snapshot. Look, you can run a business at 3 million. I don't know where you're at, okay? But you can run a business at 3 million. You can run at 2. You can run at 1. Funny thing is, 3 million at 10 points, 2 million at 15, 1 million at 20, all produce the same profits. Yep, but not the same effort, okay? I would rather have a client working at this space where they have less employees, they're making more profits, they got less chaos, less paperwork, less customers to deal with, and they're hitting the targets that they want, okay? And you'll hear me say this later on, but that's why it's so critical to get control of the work that you've got now before we focus in on marketing and sales. And we can kill it with marketing and sales, but there's no point killing it with marketing and sales if this is what your result's going to be when you can get this type of result, okay? So can you run through the numbers again? Stephanie, we can set up or Curtis and Rick, we can set up a chat to do that if that's okay, just for the sake of time. And Kay says my math is wrong. Okay, so maybe my math is wrong. Okay, we can come back to that. The point I'm trying to make, guys, is the value of your time, okay? So maybe I need to look at my calculations again. But the point is that the value of his time is worth a heck of a lot more than doing $15 to $30 an hour jobs, okay? Hopefully you guys get that. So how does this change how you look at the value of your time, okay? So what we want to do is we want to pick right now, what is the low-value task and what is the one high-value task that we're going to focus on? What's the low-value task that we're going to stop? What's the one high-value task that we're going to start focusing in on more right now, today, right? What are we going to pick, okay? All right, awesome. Okay, so when we're looking at what else, okay, we covered off that. Guys, I want you to take a look at the low-value tasks, okay? And it might be on the list, it might not. I want you to identify what is the one low-value task that you're going to either delegate, systemize, or eliminate. And I want you to type that into the chat box right now. So type that into the chat box. And what do we got? What is the one low-value task that you guys are going to stop? What's the one low-value task that you're going to stop? Dealing with Class D employees. Love it. And clients. Love it, Kathy. Ordering material. Bart, totally, man. That can totally be delegated. Eliminate dealing with Class Ds. Yep, that's a huge one. Quoting small jobs. Yep. No more ordering material for me. Mark, good man. Delivering material. Ed. Yep. Ray. Stop dealing with Class D clients. Love it. Ordering material. Dealing with Class D clients, yeah, lots of Class D. Alex, ordering, delivering material. Dan, yeah, we got to stop that. Nothing yet. Let's say come online so we can start delegating. Okay, operational. Okay, good. Class D, Marshall, coding K, small jobs, preparing, sending out RFQs, but I still look at them over before they go out. Awesome. Okay, Sarah, excellent. Okay, so on the high value side, what's the high value thing that you guys are going to start? Okay, type that into the chat box. Start building strategic alliances. Love it. Start tracking, systemize job progress to profit. Awesome. Strategic planning and goal setting, K. Sweet. Leveraging systems beyond me. Totally, right? Yeah. Marshall, strategic planning and goals. Reinforce my alliances. Leverage systems, Corey. building systems. Systems are huge. And by the way, for my clients on the call, next education session is going to be about systemized routine, humanize the exceptions. We're going to show you guys. I'm going to create some really cool done for you checklists and systems with some really awesome free software that I've been using for the last 2 years. So it's not just something I just checked out. Defining profitability holes, Bart. Cycles, Alex. Better leadership in with the men and the crews. Okay. All right. So just for the sake of time, guys, let's keep moving forward. So awesome. So here's the fact, right? You can do it the old way, low value tasks, least paid in the company, too close to the fire, or you can do it the new way. High value tasks, getting paid what you're worth, and having the clarity. This is huge to know what to say no to and what to say yes to. Okay. Every time you pick something up today, okay, I want you to ask yourself, okay, what would it cost you to do that, to get somebody to do that, okay? And is it worth your hourly rate, okay? So at the end of the day, right, actually, let me come back to this, right? We have to define whether or not we're going to make a shift, right? A shift in their mindset. So guys, are you going to do it the old way or the new way, right? Type in the chat box, make a decision today. Am I going to do it the new way, okay? Or am I going to keep doing it the old way? Just type in the chat box. And guys, this is for you, right? This is like self-affirmations, right? To say, yeah, I'm going to do it this way. Awesome. Everybody on the call saying the new way. Yeah, Alex is saying, I got to do it the new way. Absolutely. I'm going to do it the new way, says Kathy. Excellent. Guys and gals. Okay. Mark Cable, love it. Okay, good. Okay, so here's the fact. If we do it the new way, our business pays for our freedom, right? The high value tasks, allow us to delegate, systemize, and eliminate because we can afford to do it, okay? And yeah, it does cost you money. Sorry, suck it up. That's the way it is. It's going to cost you to hire somebody to do your bookkeeping. Yeah, okay. One guy I just talked to late last week, putting 80 hours in a week, okay? Every night, 3 hours doing paperwork. And the paperwork is some pretty basic stuff like bookkeeping and stuff like that. And he is worth a lot more than that 15 to 20 bucks an hour, right? And what else could he do with that time? Well, one of the things is spend it with his family. The other thing is, manage his crews better, right? Put systems in place. Okay. All right, so keep moving forward. So that was the first part of what we're covering off, okay? First of all, you've had to identify the value of your time. Okay, and I can see today that everybody's gotten a better, insights as to that. All right, and if you're already doing some higher value things, keep doing it. And as you move up the contractor's ladder of success, you've got to define what the next level of value is for you. Okay, at startup, it's a different value than when you're, at stability. It is because you should be working on different things. Okay, that's why it's a different level. Okay, different run. Okay. Oh, as far as finding a bookkeeper, where do you get a bookkeeper for 20 to 15 bucks an hour? There's lots of people out there, okay? And by the way, you can get people part-time. There's government grants out there. There are so many different opportunities. This time of the year, there's tons of co-op students that you can tap into, Paul, okay? That are actually, 15, 16 bucks an hour. There's some pretty smart cats out there, all right? And even if it is 20 or 25 bucks for a bookkeeper, okay, it could be the best investment of your time, especially if they're giving you a dashboard, showing you the financials, okay? All right, so again, we got to look at the value of our time, even if it's even higher. Sarah's saying 55. Yeah, okay, sure. All right. So the next thing we got to focus in on is you can't build on weak structure. You guys all know this. We touched on it before. And if you build on weak structure, it's going to imprison you because it's going to constantly cause you to keep falling backwards, okay? And this is one of the things you got to do. We got to stop band-aiding the symptom and start solving the problems, right? You want to stop this phone ringing, where your team is going, hey, Mr. Owner, I've got another customer on the phone that says the guys didn't finish their work. Or, you're hearing, hey, we're behind on quoting, or maybe you're not hearing anything at all. And, it just means that, that things can be, going backwards and you don't even know it, okay? We've got to stop band-aiding the symptoms and we've got to start solving the problems. So the problem with dealing with team issues, okay, now we're going to focus in on team issues, okay, is that your team imprisons you, okay, because they basically prevent you from being able to focus in on those higher value things because they just keep being so dependent upon you. Some of the key problems with team issues is that there's no accountability, right? They lack massive communication. Okay, so communication is not where it should be, and they just keep going. Hey, man, it's not me, right? And this is one of the worst things, right? This ticking time bomb, right? Where it's ticking away, where you're constantly thinking what is going wrong, whether you've heard something or you haven't heard something, you're just waiting for the bomb to go off, okay? And you're thinking this all the time. You're sitting with your family, okay? And you're really not there mentally. You might be there physically, but you're not there mentally because it's what you're thinking about. Like, man, what am I going to walk into tomorrow? You wake up to go for a pee in the middle of the night and you just start thinking about the ticking time bomb, okay? And in the end, all right, some of the worst things about team issues is that we become professional babysitters, right? We end up having to feed the team. Without us, they starve, okay? So the alternative with dealing with team issues is instead of having a to-do list, we want a done list. Instead of having problem makers, we want problem solvers. Instead of just having a team, right, we want a team that works together with synergy beyond just us. So the team is constantly building the business, whether we are there or not. So let's face it, okay? We got to get clarity of where to start, what to do, and how to do it. And that's what we're going to focus into in just the next couple of minutes so that we can move up the contractor's ladder of success, get more time, more profits, more money flow, and we can build upon what I call the 3 R's. 3 R's is your roles, your team role, the results, and the rules. We've got to get super clear on those 3 things. So what kind of impact, guys, would getting a done list, would creating a team of problem solvers, would creating accountability have on your contracting business? So type that into the chat box. What kind of impact would that have? Making good time here, which is great. Money in the bank, time in your hands. Yes, Jordan, absolutely. Life-changing, Alex says. Yeah. Done list would help organize the time. Yeah, for sure. Get more time off. Time to look at better work, for sure, Kathy. More holidays. Yeah, that's key, man. More holidays, and holidays that you can actually have a holiday, not be on your phone. Okay, we're worrying about the business. Feeling accomplished, Wayne says. Ray says relax for a couple of minutes. Yeah, and more time off. Awesome. You have all the money in the world, but if you don't have a good team, life is hell. So true, Alex. Bart says time off. Good. Excellent, guys. Okay, so 4 steps to addressing the team issues. Let's get into this once and for all. Step 1. You gotta start with what's the one thing? What's the one role? Okay, we talked about the importance of one thing a bit when we were looking at low value versus high value. Guys, we got to focus in on the one thing. Okay, the one thing, focusing on the one role at a time keeps your attention focused. It gets it fixed faster, so you benefit sooner. Okay, great book from I think it's Gary Keller called The One Thing. Highly recommended. Okay, great book. It focusing on the one thing prevents more chaos because you're focusing on solving one thing so that it gets you the domino effect, which is, once you get that one role addressed, you can benefit from it, from the time, from the profits, from so many other things, so that now you can move on to the next thing. Okay. Again, we're focusing on solving problems, not patching, symptoms. Okay. And here, this slide says it all, right? The man who chases 2 rabbits catches neither. Okay. I grew up on a farm. Okay. And even if I'm in a pen, we used to try and chase the piglets, right? And man, those things move. Those things are very fast, right? But if you don't focus in on one, you just try and catch them all at the same time, you're not going to catch anything. It's going to be a waste of energy and effort and frustration. So we got to focus in on the one thing. Step 2. Okay. Got to create your bucket list. Okay. This is not a before I die bucket list. This is a bucket list of we're focusing in on these roles. We got to take the team issues that we have and we have to put them into the appropriate buckets. Okay. Right. So that once we put them into the appropriate buckets, okay, that's going to allow us to make some really great decisions. Okay. So guys, I'm going to walk through this tool called the Contractor's Role Assessment. For my clients, you should have gotten the blank copy. You should have got the example copy as well. For the non-clients on the call, look guys, grab a piece of paper, follow through here. I'm going to go through it step by step, okay, and I'll show you how to get the tool before we finish up today, all right? All right, let's keep going here. So, step 2 is to put, step 1 is to identify the roles, okay? So you can see here I've identified on this contractor's role assessment, okay? We need to identify the roles in your company. Now, don't take the approach of identifying every single role in your company. We want quick wins. So we want to identify the list of the roles that you believe you got issues with. That's a good first starting point. So maybe you got 4 roles in your company. Let's just say we got project managers that we're having issues with, service manager we're having some issues with, technician we're having some issues with, and maybe the estimator we're having some issues with, okay? So we get Donald Trump, Justin Trudeau, Fred Palmer, and Johnny Cash, okay? That should have said Arnold Palmer, but anyways, we'll go with Fred today, all right? So the first thing in the contractor's role assessment, section 1, is to identify the roles that you're going to focus in on, the ones that you've got issues with, okay? That's the first thing, okay? So take a minute, okay, and you can start writing these things down, okay? We're going to come back to getting it done for you guys in just a second. But you can start, okay, as I'm going through this. Step 3, once we identify the roles, we've got to start filling up the buckets. What do I mean by filling up the buckets, okay? We've got to take those roles that now we've listed, and we got to start dumping into those buckets the issues that we're having with those individual roles, okay? That's what we got to start doing. You might have lists already of this, of these issues. You might have it on sticky notes. You might have it on a napkin. You might have it in your head. You might have all of the above. I don't care, all right? We need to just get them sorted into these buckets, okay? And it's really important to do that because of the next step, okay? The next step is going to be weighing in, okay? Taking the time to weigh in, okay? Now that we've got these buckets, all right, filled up, and let me show you an example of this. Let me see if I can pull up a nice little example. Here we go. There's an example, okay? So in this case, in each one of these cells for my clients out there, again, guys that are not clients, grab a piece of paper, okay? That'll do for now. We're going to just type in, you can just type in any of these fields. We're going to take the list, right? We had these lists that we were in our heads, someplace up in the sky or someplace, and we're going to put them into the appropriate buckets. Here's some examples that I see typically with project managers, right? That the issue is you're having to babysit them to make them stay on track, okay, to schedule, okay, that they're not filling in the paperwork, that they're not communicating with the clients what the hell's going on, that they're not following material ordering procedures, okay. Service manager, okay, this is a huge one, right? They're not getting the paperwork filled in from the crews and holding them accountable. They're not even updating, or they don't even have a service board, okay, but in this case, they're not even updating it. They're not following the service procedures. Technician, too many callbacks, right? Constantly getting callbacks that, hey, the job wasn't done right, okay? Maybe on the estimator side, not quoting jobs profitably, okay? So there's us taking the list out of our head and dumping it into the appropriate buckets, the buckets being the roles, okay? The next step, which is so critical, is to get us focused in on the one thing. So now that we got these buckets filled with lists of issues, now we can start weighing in. How do we weigh in? There are 2 main criteria. There might be more for you, but there's 2 main criteria that I'm looking at, okay, as your coach today, is how much time is being spent, wasted, dealing with that issue. In this person's case, 3 hours, okay? Maybe that's an hour and a half or 2 hours for the owner, an hour for the team, whatever number you come up with, estimate it. Guys, you're good at estimating, okay? That's what you do, okay? If you got a business in the contracting world, you do estimates, okay? That means it's not perfect, okay? We're going to rough it, okay? So we're going to estimate how much time we're putting in on each one of these issues against that role, okay? Against that bucket. Then we're going to rate the impact that is having on profits, okay? On money, okay? Babysitting them to stay on track of schedule. Yeah, if you're off a schedule, man, then and you've quoted a job, estimated so many hours, the customer typically isn't going to pay you for the extra time. No, you're screwed, right? So it's the job of the project manager to make sure that they're on track to the schedule because that schedule defines profitability. Now, filling in paperwork, that's big time, right? Oh, they didn't include the right amount of hours, didn't include the right amount of material, and who's paying for that? Us. The owners are paying for that. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit harsh here. Maybe as a team member, you might be feeling like I'm a little bit harsh, but yeah, this stuff needs to get done. Business owners are pay employees as an investment, not as an expense, okay? To be able to invest into the business, to grow the business, have happier customers, to provide a product and service profitably, okay? So rate each of the issues you have, okay? Once that happens, say for example, for my clients out there, you put in a 2 here, you'll see this change. It tallies up the number. So in this case, 10 hours are being spent, wasted, dealing with this project manager with this list of issues. And by the way, you can see if you need to fill in more information, it fills it in down below. Stephanie made this my right-hand marketing person. So thank you, Stephanie. And again, guys, it's about delegating. Okay, I didn't create this. She created it. I just came up with the idea of it, okay? So that's a good definition of high versus low value, okay, even for me. Service manager, okay, we did the same thing. And then what is the next thing? The next thing is to do the weigh-in, okay? And the weigh-in does this. The weigh-in allows us to pick a winner. So let's put theory into reality, okay? So I want you guys just to take a minute, okay? I want you to write down some of the roles that you're having issues with, and I want you to start putting underneath each of those roles some of the issues. Let's just, for the sake of time, put in 2, maybe 3 issues maximum per role. And I want you to put beside them how much time you feel that you're wasting with them, and how much profits it's affecting you. Okay, so as you guys do that, I'm going to just tap into this. Okay, because once we do that, it's going to allow us. So you guys should be writing away right now. Okay, on your own. Okay, it allows us to define who the winner is. Okay, in this case, it's the total sum of those 2 things. Okay. So in this case, the service manager is having the biggest negative impact as far as the issues goes with that role in the company, okay? Because if we add up, maybe hopefully my math is right here, okay? If we add up the 18 plus the 14, okay, it's a total score of 32, okay? The next thing that this allows us to do, so keep working away, team, as I yap along. The next thing that this allows us to do is this allows us to get super laser focused on what? On how much time that once we address these issues, is it going to free up for us, okay? And potentially our team. But it allows us now to take a look at these issues because now we've gotten it out of our head, we've gotten it into an area that we can take a step back, just like the orange, and we can determine which is the first issue that we're going to address, okay? Because if we can look at this, I'm going to typically look at this and go, well, the first issue I'm going to work at is going to be, getting the service manager to get the paperwork in. All right. Now I'm going to show you guys a really wicked tool. It's like sort of like a toolkit on the service manager side that has allowed some of my clients to just kill it as far as getting the paperwork in, increasing profitability, stopping callbacks. But anyways, I'll show you that later on. So by now, guys, I would like you to tell me, okay, what do you have, right? So what's the one role that if you address the issues and you get the issues addressed, will make the biggest impact on your time and your profits, okay? So I want you guys to start typing that into the chat box. What's the one role that's jumping off the page for you? Okay, it's almost like this page will start talking back to you. Okay, it's almost like a living, breathing entity. The more that we feed it, the more it comes alive. All right. And here's the thing, guys. You should get your team involved in this. Okay, your team is going to give you really good insights, especially if it's somebody that's not in that role. To go, hey, what are some of the issues we're having with the service manager right now? What are some of the issues we're having with the project manager right now? Or the administrator right now? What are some of these issues? Okay, they're going to help you fill up those buckets. So I want you guys to type into the chat box. Okay, what's the role that's coming to your mind? Okay, not so much communication, Gaten, but what is the one role? Okay, it could be apprentices. Yeah, it could be anybody in a specific role. What's the one role that's having the biggest impact on your time and on your profits? Okay. again, I can't stress enough, getting your team involved and maybe getting your team to help you rate them is going to be huge, because your team sees things from a different set of lenses that you do, okay? And you're not going to see everything, okay? And that's why you need them to help you amplify your lenses, okay? So what do we got? My apprentice, getting well trained in sales and on-site service quoting to take calls and jobs off my hands. Love it. Perfect. Wayne, poor job setup results. And I know, Wayne, you were working on the service department, service manager. I'd love to find out how you're making out with that. You get still working on the service manager. Yeah, make sure that we set up a laser focus session, Wayne. I want to get into depth into how that's progressing. Salesperson, not gathering all the materials for jobs, wasting time on my installation crew and waiting on material, less profit in our bucket, absolutely. Text jobs, preparing, service manager, sorry, I said that already, Wayne. Dashboarding, cash flow and workflow, yep. Corey, getting invoices out quickly, yep. Getting rid of bookkeeper that I do. I'm filling in all the roles. Personally, I need to hire a bookkeeper, absolutely. Technicians are not recording their work, log daily, forgetting what they do. Okay, great, guys. I mean, awesome. Sorry to say awesome, but you're getting so much better clarity right now, okay, as to where to start and where to focus. So you want to continue these lists, okay? Soon to retire staff, okay? Service tech, getting paperwork in, timely fashion. Kathy, plumbers not taking responsibility for taking the next steps without calling for each step. Yeah, okay. All right, great. Okay, so here's the thing, guys, right? It's time to solve the problem, okay? So now that we've got this, okay, this was step one, okay? Now we're moving into the finish line here, okay, on the topic. Now that we've got the ability to know where and which one role, okay? I don't want to hear two, I don't want to hear three. What's the one role that we are going to focus in on? Now we got to determine what the hell do we do about it, okay? We got to solve the problem. So, in a nutshell, 80% of the problem is a lack of communication backed by poor leadership. That's a quote by a smart guy called Andrew Houston. No, seriously, it's true. Let's take a look. There's 5 key areas that cause the issues. Number 1, in this order, by the way, no one is clear as to who owns it, who owns the role, and it's not written down. Okay, and by the way, you can have more than one person doing a role, but you got to be super clear as to who is doing these roles. Okay. Number 2, the results are not tangible with outcomes that are measured. Okay, we got to be able to measure the results, not just say, "Hey, I want you to provide really good service when you go and see our customers." No, that's not acceptable. Okay, I'm going to show you examples of that in a second. Number 3, in order. The rules are not defined and enforced and tracked, okay? The rules. Guys, this is huge. We don't go and play sports or even are able to watch sports without knowing who's winning or who's losing if there's no rules, okay? The rules keep us in bounds. They know what inbounds, out of bounds, on the line is for a very specific reason, so that people can communicate. It's funny. If I'm on, I talk about a back catcher, okay? Whether you played the game or not, 90% of people know what a back catcher is, okay? They know where he sits, they know what his job is, and they know what his rules are. He doesn't go to first base. He doesn't run out in the field. He stays at home, and his job is what? His result. Stop people from getting a run, okay? And some of the other results, catching the ball, okay? There's some other things, but you get my point, okay? It's really crystal clear. Number 4, the systems are not in place to allow success in the role. We've got to have systems, okay? And there's a variety of different systems. We'll get into that again on the next education session, clients, along with this one, okay, which is the person. When these 4 things are in place, the first 4, you can then clearly identify this. You can identify if the person is the right fit for the job or not. If you do not have these things clearly identified, you're going to be doing a guessing game. And in a lot of cases, let's just say there's quite a few cases where we actually do have a good person, okay? But because we don't have the role, results, rules, and systems to back them and support them, they're not able to do their job. But there's also a lot of cases where, we just run around and go, do I have the right person or not? Okay, when you have these things in place, okay, Dan, you know what I'm talking about. When we get this stuff laid out and they're still not able to follow it, it's time for them to move on, okay? And I'm not trying to be mean here, but I mean that. It's time for them to move on. It's not fair to have somebody, because they're a human being, working for you in an environment that they're not good at and happy at and aren't able to do, okay? We're setting them up for failure, which sets you up for failure. So let's get into this. Let's crank through it quickly. The first place we've got to focus in on is the results, okay? And results go like this. We've got to get crystal clear, okay, on the results. But let's face it, if we didn't get clear on who was responsible for the role, we wouldn't be able to be focusing on this, okay? So now that we're getting clarity of who does the role, we've got to focus in on the results. So what are some examples of results? Results should be things that support the client's experience. They should be results. I'm not saying this is always the case, but in most cases, it should support the client's experience in some form or fashion. It's results that positively affects the teammates, okay, and you. It affects positively the profits, the cash flow, the sales, the schedules, the culture, okay? So let's face it, at the end of the day, it's all about getting results, right, guys? So if we don't lay this stuff out and clearly identify, and when I say clearly, I'm not talking about 15 pages here, okay? And don't take it wrong for those that have got that kind of thing. Sometimes you do need more detail, okay? But I want this to be in one place at a simple level that my son or 10 or 11-year-old could actually understand, okay, what you're saying. Okay, so there's no excuses for interpretation, all right? So let's take a little peek, a little gander at what the heck I mean by that, okay? So you see this is the role, results, and rules are all part of the same document, okay? So here's an example, okay? Technician, okay? I'm sorry if I hear, your job is to provide good quality and good client satisfaction and client communication. Yeah, baloney, okay? I want to be able to measure that, okay? And there's a simple way of measuring it. I'm going to show you in a second. I want to see client satisfaction on average 8.5. Quality satisfaction at 8.5. Customer communication, 8.5, okay? Maintenance of the truck, 8 out of 10, okay, as far as spot check inspections, okay? So we need to, this is results. We're going to focus in on rules in a second, which support those results, okay? Just stick with me. Notice these are clear. Now, I'm not saying that these need to be the things for you. My clients, these are examples, guideline. Maybe they're 80% along the lines of what you want, okay? But tweak it, okay? Adjust it, make it your own, okay? But these are totally measurable results, okay? Based upon whose role? The technician, okay? We want to do the same thing for the project manager. We want to do the same thing for the service manager. We want to do the same thing for the estimator. I think somebody mentioned marketing and salesperson. Yeah, we've got to do all that, okay? So there's an example of the results, okay? So that's the next step that we want to do, all right? After that, and this is going to be something you guys are going to take away and work on, okay? You can maybe start filling it out now, okay? But, when we're looking at, the next step, once we get the results, it makes it so much easier to define what the rules are. Let's take a look at the rules, okay? Rules are same things, okay? In the sense that we need to be able to test and measure these rules. So what are some of the key things that the rules are based upon? Typically, rules are based upon policies, systems, typically the culture, the safety, there could be other areas, okay? But they are things that support the results we're trying to get. Let's take a look. So, hey, coach, how the heck how do I rate these guys, and test and measure this? Well, let's see how we do that, okay? And here's, I've put in capitals some of the rules that we're able to test and measure. Health and safety, checklist monthly. Notice I got a time frame, right? Paperwork must be in by when? Not Friday or sometime during the week, end of day, okay? Notify the customer of, before the estimate arrives and 1 hour before, right? Or before estimated arrival. Vehicle inspections weekly. Clean service vehicle once monthly, okay? This is a beauty right here. Client feedback filled out on every job. What am I talking about, this client feedback? I just showed it to you guys, okay? And just to bring it up again, I'll show you guys again. There we are right there, right? Survey for success, right? So we can use this or create for those people that aren't clients, create a feedback form and get every job to have feedback on it. Why? So that when we get these forms, our administrator person can tally it up, open this little baby up, take a little bit, and we can get them to rate, how they are doing in every job. Best person to rate your team, one of the best people, is definitely your clients, okay? And by the way, they're the best people to give you referrals and the best people to give you testimonials, and we can use those things in so many different ways, okay? But that is an example of how we go about, being able to measure these things as far as results, okay? All right, the last thing that we got to do, and this is one of the last things we got to do, and I'm always evolving what I work on, so sometimes things get changed a bit in the approach, just because we're making it better. So once you've done the contractor's role assessment, okay, and filled out the roles, results, and rules, we eventually want to build what's called an organizational chart, okay, so that we got clarity of who is in what seat and in what level of hierarchy, okay? So there's a hierarchy of communication, right? In this case, the electricians don't go to the general manager. They don't go to the service manager. They don't go to the marketing person. They go to the project manager, okay? That's who they communicate to, okay? So there's a hierarchy of communication. The general manager doesn't pop down to the electricians. No, he's got higher value things that he should be focused in on and looking at dashboard items that the project manager should be updating him on, okay? So a couple of quick tips, okay, and action steps. Set a time, team, especially those clients out there, for when you're going to fill out, actually everybody out there, for when you're going to fill out your version of the contractor's role assessment. Again, I'll show you guys how to get access to that. And for my clients, add this to your Goal Smasher tool, okay? If it's not part of your 90-day plan for this quarter, that's okay, okay? Just add a piece on your Goal Smasher tool, a goal to say parking lot ideas, and we can revisit this at the June workshop, okay, and bring this into your plan if that's what's needed, okay? If you see that this is something you can fit in partway through between now and the end of June, and you need to have a call with me, then set in a laser focus session so we can break this down, okay? Attach the roles, results, rules to their employee contract. Team members, if you don't have a copy or you don't use an employee contract, a good sample of that. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Internet's going not too bad here. So, okay, let's see if we can pull this up. So, there's the position term template. Okay, there's a whole bunch of other stuff, but that's what you would attach it to. Okay, the position term template. All right. All right, so here's an example of what happens, if you can get this stuff right and you can focus in on the right things. And, it truly does give you the results. Let me just see here. Stay with me, guys. I'm looking for somebody. I don't know if this is going to work or not. Mark, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Awesome. So, Mark, tell us a little bit about the results that you've got here.
Well, basically, with the systems that you brought me, I'd say about 6 months ago, I didn't realize there was a lot more involved in the business than just putting the hands on. The numbers you got, the increased profit for 210%, for sure, that actually went through because of my expenses on the employees.
Right.
That got me a lot of profit compared to the years before.
Awesome. And you were also able to get a salesperson as well. That had a big impact, right?
Yep, big time on my time. More towards the Class A, Class B.
Love it.
Customers now that I can actually concentrate.
Love it. And you got an increased conversion rate as well on the quotes that you did?
Yep, big time.
Yeah.
And profitability.
Excellent, man. And it's not just going cheaper, right? It was going beyond price.
No, it's going on the upright.
Okay, awesome, man. Thanks for sharing. Excellent. Thanks, Mark. Sorry to put you on the spot.
No problem.
Okay, great, guys. Okay, so that's there it is. You heard it from the horse's mouth, okay? So that's, again, doesn't happen in a blink. It takes time, one step at a time. So if you had these strategies in place, guys, how would your business look in the next 12 months? Again, I'm focusing around these team issues. So just type in the chat box. What would that look like? Type in the chat box. Yeah, a lot more freedom. Yeah, a lot more control. More time, more money. Yeah. Love the template. Can't wait to put it into action. Good. Excellent. Bart, more time, more profit. Yeah, time, guys, like time. This business has got to pay for our freedom, which equates to time and money. Okay. Awesome. Love it. Better working environment. Yep. Okay. Corey says got no problem. Yep. Peace of mind. Yep. Priceless. Beautiful. Okay, guys, let's crank this out. So again, we can do it the old way, spider web effect. Ed says, lower my blood pressure. Oh, thanks, Ed, for sharing. Stop being a firefighter. Get rid of this no ownership and babysitting. And the new way, structure that lasts, knowing where to start, and creating accountability. Okay, guys? And in the end, getting our contractor's assessment tool working takes us and eliminates chaos, gets us to solve the problems once and for all. So, look, I don't know, where you are. I know why you came on today's call. Maybe it's because, clients or other people on the call, because you're drowning in a to-do list. I'm sorry, I love this slide. It's horrible but funny. Or you're blocked up, right? You just don't know where to start. Maybe it's because you don't have the right level of communication or accountability, and it's just massive excuse on excuse from your team. Wherever you showed up, guys, hopefully you're realizing that systems need to run your business. People need to run the systems, okay? And you need to be the guide, setting the compass for the business, okay? And we got to stop focusing. Hopefully what else you got out of this is that we got to stop focusing on the symptoms, focusing on one thing, laser focus, get it solved, plug the holes in the bucket of problems so that we can move on and get off this roller coaster, whether that's cash flow up and down, stress level up and down, issues up and down, okay? So the obvious question, brings up the obvious question, which is, how do I move up the contractor's ladder of success? For my clients out there on the call today, you've already made a choice, guys, to do this, okay? And I'll see you guys on the next session or laser focus session if you want to book in, or the moving forward call. And please don't hesitate, guys, to send me updates, any questions that you have. I'm here to support you. And do your best to post them on the Facebook group for everybody. We just kick that off and use the membership site, okay? For everybody else that wants to move from chaos to control, you've got a choice, right? You can do it the slow way, like this guy. You can do it by trial and error, and honestly, sometimes that's the slowest and fastest way to get sore thumbs and frustrations. Or you can do it the fast way, okay? Shortcut what I had to go through owning my own business and my clients, and get the tools A to Z to get the job done in the systems. So here's the thing. What I'm about to go through right now is not for everybody. There's two types of people I want to warn off. There's the sharks. In other words, the people that don't really care about their clients and their team. This is not for you. So if you are one of those people, I'd recommend you get off the call. And the second type of person is somebody that's expecting magic. Okay, here's the fact. You can't get any system and think that it's going to work magically. You have to work it, okay? And if you're willing to work it, then you'll get the control. You get the same results that my clients get, like Mark. Okay, more profits, more time back. So it's called the contractor strategy session. Okay, it's to put you guys in the driver's seat. Okay, once and for all. Typically, I charge $395 for this, but I'm opening up 7 spots. And only 7 spots, because the reality is I spend most of my time helping my clients. So, I've only got so much time for these types of things. And it's a first come, first served basis. It's a 60-minute contractor strategy session. And what you're going to walk away with is you're going to be able to focus in on knowing what the right strategy is for you. You're going to have a step-by-step plan, because we know how important a plan is. We'll get the business to, you'll get to see what the business can look like in 3 years, the ideal profit, ideal team and hours. Going to show you guys a bunch of different strategies, really killer strategies, to increase your profits, win more jobs, and determine how to go from chaos to control. All right. So what's the next step? So the next step, I'll try and put this in the chat box to you guys. Actually, I don't know, Stephanie, can you do that? If you can just tell me, can you do that? Yes, I can. Love it. Thank you, Stephanie, for helping out. Yeah, so Stephanie's going to put that in the chat box for those non-clients out there. And just click on the link, and basically we'll have a 15-minute chat to book in to see if or how I can help you. If I think I can, then we'll book in for the contractor strategy session. If I think I can't, then I'll direct you in the right way to get you guys some help. Basically, when you click on the link, did everybody get the link? Yes, Sarah. Sarah, you can book in with me. Okay, you're one of my clients, so you can book in. You can send me an email, and you and I can have a laser focus session. Okay, let's make sure we do that. Okay, so click on the link. Ray says that there's no link. Hi everyone. If interested in strategy session, okay, so it should have just went out. Ray, do you see it? Type it in. Got it. Cool. So again, there's 7 spots you guys can see here, type of thing. Pick the time that works for you, and then we'll get you scheduled in. Again, there's a couple of questions that I'd ask you, nothing too deep. Just gets me prepared and proactive before our call. And if you have any technical issues getting logged in, just put it in the chat box right now, like Ray did, or you can email support at Profit for Contractors. Okay, and so, I believe that people that take action should be rewarded in taking action. So you'll get access to the recording today. I told you I'd show you where you can get some more help. You'll get access to the recording. You'll also get access to the contractor's role assessment tool. And again, this is a great tool that if you've got managers in your company, you can get them to start filling it out for the people that are underneath them. Or as an owner, you can start it off yourself or do both, okay? But get your team involved in this process, okay? For sure. So there's the contractor's role assessment. You guys will get a copy of that. The other thing that you're going to get, and this is killer, okay, is the Service Call Success System. One of my clients just put this in a month and a half ago, large or mid-sized electrical company. It's eliminated their callbacks. They're loving it. Stop chasing their paperwork. It's increased their capacity by 20%. And on top of that, increased their sales by 15%. They've freed up 15 hours a week. And the customers, they've sent me a bunch of the customer responses over the last couple of weeks that are becoming raving fans. And again, we talked about the importance of systems, right? So one of the things that we do here is to provide you guys the framework for the systems and get most of the systems laid out for you, so that all you guys got to do is tweak it. Okay, so here's all the different steps at each phase. What you got to do before a service call started, what you got to do when the service call is being ran, how to finish it up, and a flow chart, right, to get a visual representation from start to finish. Okay, so that's you'll get that included as well if you get into one of those 7 sessions. And guys, my message to all contractors out there, any business that's on the call, is don't look at growing your business until we've maximized the profitability and the effectiveness of your team and the jobs that you currently have right now. Okay, there's no point in growing on a broken structure. Okay, and that's why we do the we go through the contractor strategy session. Okay, and that applies to everybody on the call. So if you guys got any questions regarding what we covered off today, let it rip. Or anything outside of today, you can ask me, and I can try and answer those. I'll pull this up here. Again, if you guys have any questions, just ask me. What do we got here? I work with my husband, and I would like a discussion with him. Is he open to this? This was my first session. I loved it. I think it would apply to us. Yeah. By the way, Kathy. I would say 70% of my clients are couples based, okay, husband, wife. So Kathy, yeah, it's definitely a good fit. So there's a lot of dynamics that happen specifically with couples and family businesses. All right, so just to let you know. Lisa wants to know, can I learn these strategies? Yeah, of course you can, Lisa. It's just a matter of getting the tools and walking through them step by step. Okay. Jerry wants to know, can his team get involved? Yeah, I mean, I was showing there earlier to some of my clients the membership site. Okay, so your team can get involved in getting access to that. Your team can get involved from listening to these types of recordings, by using the tools, by getting your team involved, just like the contractor's assessment that we went through today. Yeah, of course they can. Okay, and let me see. I gotta wrap things up here soon. We'll wrap it up in like 60 seconds here. We're right on schedule, which is great. 10:31. All right. What else we got? Any other questions you guys got for me? How much time is it going to take? Fred asked, how much time is it going to take to work on these things? Are you talking about like per week? Yes, per week. Okay, cool. Basically, it requires minimum, okay, 2 hours a week, okay, for the business owner. Okay, that's where we start you off at, 2 hours a week, right? And we make sure that we get that scheduled into your calendar so that you can ensure that you've got the time allocated to do those things, because it's about focus and putting things in the calendar. Back to those roles, by the way, anybody that that wants to know, when we're looking at these roles, we want to take a look at those roles and the rules, and anything that's time based, you want it that's routine time based, like do this on Monday, do this on Friday. We want to get these things put into what's called a default calendar. So Fred, we default you working on the business, right? So we back those 2 hours a week by a specific plan created for you that you follow week on week, putting the appropriate information or actions into those 2 hours. Now that's the starting point. Okay. As you get more and more time and more of these team issues get addressed, well, then you free up more time. And just like Yvonne, just like Mark and other people, then you start putting in even more. Okay. Now I got some people I start with, and they start out with 5 hours a week. Okay. So, you got, but if you can't put in 2 hours a week, look, then it's not for you. Okay. That means you're not being realistic, or you're not being committed to growing the business. Okay. Does that answer your question, Fred? Awesome. Okay. Let's wrap this up, eh? So I want to thank everybody for today's call. Thank you for all the sharings, for all the insights, and for being open and honest with me, guys. It looks like you guys got a lot out of this today. I got one little thing I want to ask you as a favor before you guys leave. I almost forgot. I want to just get a poll here to see what sort of value you guys got from today's online workshop. So I'm just going to pull this up, launch the poll. You guys can just click what sort of value did you get from today's online workshop. That would be great. For those that are still on the call, please just check off the boxes. What sort of value did you get out of today's call? I like to share this with my team. I like to share it with, the associations and the alliances, like the suppliers and things of that nature. So what sort of value did you guys get out of today? That would be great. And that gives us the ability to know how to improve, right? Because we can always improve as well here at Prof for Contractors, here at the headquarters. So I'll just leave that for one more minute. We got like 60, 70 people have voted. I'll give you guys, just like I said, a few more seconds, see if we can get some more participation. Paul says having difficulty with the link. Might I impose to you to email me at... Yeah, for sure, Paul. We'll send you an email, okay? I don't know why you're having troubles with that link. Sorry to hear that. All right, guys, we've got a huge percentage of people that have voted on the poll. Love it. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm going to close the poll up here. Close the poll. I haven't used this that often. Even myself is learning every day. All right, close the poll. And yes, thank you. Hey, no problem, Jason. Thanks. Hey, thanks, Wayne. You have a great day too. Jordan, take care. No problem, Jordan. Paul, you're welcome. Alex, yep, perfect. Awesome. Okay, guys, have a great day. Thank you so much, everybody. We will catch you, especially for my clients, on the next education session, as well as the next moving forward call. This is your coach, over and out.